Welcome to Headphone News, Montreal edition for Thursday, December 12, 2024.
Reevaluating the legacy of Lionel Groulx in Quebec. Quebec institutions are currently reassessing the legacy of historian Lionel Groulx due to his controversial views on race and nationalism. This discussion gained momentum after the removal of a statue of Sir John A. Macdonald in 2020, which sparked broader conversations about how we view historical figures. A history organization in Quebec has decided to drop Groulx's name from its annual prize after a majority of its members supported this change. Around 20 municipalities in Quebec have places named after Groulx, but only 2, Gatineau and Sainte-Julie, are considering renaming them. Additionally, a petition with over 26,000 signatures is calling for the Lionel Groulx subway station in Montreal to be renamed after jazz musician Oscar Peterson. The Université de Montréal has chosen to keep Groulx's name on one of its buildings but plans to provide important context about his views. These discussions reflect a significant societal shift towards recognizing diversity and addressing historical injustices. While renaming public places can foster inclusivity, it may also lead to disagreements within communities. Understanding the complexities of historical legacies is essential as Quebec navigates its cultural identity.
Indefinite strike by ambulance workers in Quebec. Ambulance workers in Quebec, represented by 14 unions from the Brotherhood of Pre-Hospital Workers, started a strike without a set end date on December 11, 2024. This strike affects several regions, including Abitibi-Témiscamingue, Bas-Saint-Laurent, and Gaspésie, among others. During the strike, critical services will continue to ensure community safety. While the reasons for the strike aren't detailed, labor conflicts in healthcare often stem from issues like wages and working conditions. This strike could lead to reduced emergency services, impacting public health and safety in the affected areas. The labor court received official notices at 12:01 a.m. on the day the strike began, marking a significant moment in labor negotiations. This situation highlights ongoing challenges in Quebec's healthcare sector and may spark further discussions about labor rights and healthcare funding.
Redevelopment of Molson Brewery site in Montreal. Developers have unveiled plans to transform the historic Molson Brewery site in Montreal, Canada. This ambitious project will cover 6 million square feet and include around 5,000 diverse housing options. Located by the water, it will also feature 1 million square feet dedicated to business and office spaces. A community park, Somer Park, will be part of the development, spanning about 150,000 square feet. Construction is set to begin in 2025. Molson Brewery has a long-standing presence in Montreal, dating back to 1786. The company decided to leave this site in 2017, moving to a new building in Longueuil, which was completed in 2021.
Montreal police make arrests in homicide cases. Montreal police have detained 5 individuals linked to 3 tragic murders. These suspects, aged 26 to 35, were taken into custody across Quebec, Ontario, and British Columbia. Investigators believe one of the murders was a case of mistaken identity. These arrests add to 12 others made during an ongoing investigation into organized crime groups that started 14 months ago. One murder took place in Charlemagne, a suburb of Montreal, on June 16, 2023. Another shooting occurred in downtown Montreal on August 7, 2023, and the third killing happened on May 14, 2024. Police are asking the public for any information that could assist with the investigation.
Montreal community groups call for ban on police checks. Community groups and researchers gathered at Montreal City Hall in Quebec, Canada, to talk about police checks and unfair treatment. During a public meeting, they highlighted studies that show how these practices can be biased. Linda Kellel, the spokesperson for the League of Rights and Freedoms, urged the City of Montreal and Mayor Valérie Plante to pause police checks. This request comes after a 2022 court ruling that determined police checks violate the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Over 100 organizations support the ban, which follows an initiative launched in February 2023.
Amber Alert update in Quebec. A 9-year-old child went missing in Marieville, Quebec, Canada. The Quebec police issued an Amber Alert, reaching out to the community for help. About 40 minutes later, the child was found safe in Montreal, which is roughly 18.6 miles away from Marieville. The investigation is still ongoing, and no further details have been shared. Imagine the relief the family felt when they received the good news.
ELNA Medical Group enters bankruptcy protection. ELNA Medical Group, based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, has begun bankruptcy protection. This company operates over 100 medical clinics and provides care for more than 3 million patients across the country. The Quebec Superior Court approved their request for bankruptcy protection to improve financial health and ensure ongoing care for patients and healthcare professionals. Recently, ELNA expanded by acquiring the Brunswick Health Group, which may have contributed to some financial difficulties. The company is now looking for potential buyers to stabilize its operations.
Luc Rabouin's candidacy for Projet Montreal leadership. Luc Rabouin, the borough mayor of Plateau Mont-Royal in Montreal, Canada, has officially launched his campaign for the leadership of Projet Montreal. He plans to focus on 4 key issues: addressing the housing crisis, promoting environmental changes, developing the East, and improving city services. The application period for the leadership position is open until January 31, 2025, with the campaign kicking off on February 3, 2025. Election day is scheduled for March 15, 2025.
Weather update for Montreal. Montreal, Canada, is in for a chilly week ahead. On Thursday, temperatures will reach a high of -1 degree Celsius and drop to -9 degrees at night. Friday brings bright, sunny weather with a high of -5 degrees and a low of -12 degrees. Saturday will be similar, with a high of -8 degrees. On Sunday, expect a mix of sun and clouds, reaching a high of -5 degrees. Monday will be cloudy, with a good chance of light snow and a high of 2 degrees. Finally, rain is expected on Tuesday, with temperatures rising to a high of 6 degrees and a low of 2 degrees. Make sure to stay updated on the changing weather conditions.
Cardiac surgeon receives award for groundbreaking research. Dr. Renzo Ceccheri, a respected cardiac surgeon at McGill University Health Centre in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, has been awarded for his important work in stem cell therapy. He received the Trottier-Webster Innovation Award, which includes a prize of $100,000. This funding will help him investigate how radiation impacts ventricular tachycardia, a serious heart condition that affects heart rhythm. Additionally, the Trottier Family Foundation and the R. Howard Webster Foundation have committed $3 million to support further medical research at the health center. This award emphasizes the significance of new treatments in enhancing heart health.
Arrest in Laval for sexual offenses against minors. Steve Haddad, a 35-year-old man, was arrested by Laval police in Quebec, Canada, on December 5, 2024. He is suspected of serious sexual offenses against minors over the past year. The allegations include enticing underage girls on social media to share private photos. Several victims have been identified across Quebec. The Laval police are urging anyone with information to call their confidential tip line at 450-662-INFO. This case highlights ongoing concerns about keeping children safe online.
Fire displaces families in Montreal. A devastating 5-alarm fire broke out Wednesday night in the Villeray neighborhood of Montreal, Canada. Emergency responders received a call at 7:30 p.m. about a building on fire at the intersection of Jerry and Chateaubriand Street. More than 100 firefighters arrived and quickly brought the flames under control by 10 p.m. Unfortunately, 7 families had to leave their homes due to the destruction. The Canadian Red Cross stepped in to provide help to those affected. The cause of the fire is still unclear. That is all the news for today. Thank you for listening to today's headphone news. News summary brought to you by AI.